Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News Today, 25th March 2026. Equivalent Islamic calendar 6th of Shawwal 1447 after Hijrah. I am Hamida Muhammad Idris. In the headlines. The government to lift 50 million Nigerians out of poverty by 2030. Vice President Shettima formally receives Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara into ruling APC. Presidency challenges Indume to share intelligence on terrorism with security agencies. On the international scene, meteorological organization global climate hits alarming extremes as warming accelerates. And a sport update, Nigeria's the Tigers clashes with Los Angeles Sparks US tournaments. Details of these and more will be coming to you in the bulletin. Stay tuned. The government has rolled out plans for the implementation of a unified national system with the theme, one humanitarian, one poverty response system, targeted at lifting 50 million Nigerians out of poverty by 2030. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Bernard Doro, who announced this during the official flag-off ceremony of the OHAP, said program was designed to address multidimensional poverty with a focus on real-time data, coordinated response, and a people-centered approach. He also lamented that 62% of Nigerians living in poverty, while over 33 million facing acute food insecurity, noting that there is need for a system change that integrates humanitarian response, social protection, and economic inclusion. On his part, Statistical General for the Federation, Adeyemi Adeniran, hinted that approximately 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor, with deprivation, concentrated housing, sanitation, health, education, and security shorts. Presidency has apologized to Nigerians over the ongoing poor power supplies across Nigeria, assuring that the situation is temporary and efforts are underway to restore stable electricity supply. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, who tendered his apologies during a press conference in Abuja, regretted that the disruption has caused hardship for citizens, particularly during the current dry season, marked by intense heat, affecting businesses, schools, and industries nationwide. He also explained that the challenges were caused by factors beyond the government's control, but stressed that authorities are working round the clock to resolve the issue. According to him, the government is not expecting the situation but has intensified effort to address it and assured Nigerians that the current past challenges will soon be resolved. Vice President Kashim Shettima formally received Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State and his supporters into the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. The event, which took place in Gusau, had in attendance the Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibril, National Chairman of the party Netanwil Wadda, National Secretary Ajibola Basiru, and top chieftains of the governing party from the Northwest states. Shettima, while addressing gathering, admitted that Zamfara is faced with serious security challenges, noting that defection of Governor Lawal would help in the decline of banditry and insurgency in the Northwest states. He also added that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is resolute and working hard to ensure that peace is sustained in all parts of Nigeria. Earlier, the Deputy Senate President, who represented the Senate President, said members of the National Assembly on the platform of the APC were in total support of Lawal's defection to the party. In his remarks, Governor Lawal pledged to work for the success of the APC at all levels in the 2027 general elections. The leadership crisis rocking the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) has degenerated as some governors rejected the consensus selection of a national chairman and secretary by the Western Wiki-backed faction, insisting on legal redress and a review of the process. This is coming as Samuel Anyawu and Abdurrahman Mohammed emerge as consensus candidates for National Secretary and National Chairman, backed by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Svtv, a PDP member aligned with the Governors-backed National Working Committee, NWC, led by Tanimu Taraki, who pleaded anonymity, said they would pursue all available legal avenues to ensure that the crisis is resolved in their favor. Meanwhile, a high-ranking member of the White-backed National Caretaker Committee revealed that all geopolitical zones had agreed on consensus candidates for NWC positions ahead of the March 29 to 30th National Convention. The Publicity Secretary of the Traki-led National Working Committee, INI, however, declined to speak on the resolution at the NWC meeting held in Abuja, but said the rally would continue today, whereas after which the party will address the situation. So on 2027 general elections, former Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle dropped his plans to contesting for the 2027 governorship election to support Governor Dauda Lawal's second-term bid. The Minister of State for Defense and a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the state was ousted from power in 2023 by Lawal, formerly of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Matawalle made the declaration at the official reception of Lawal into the APC after his recent dumping of the PDP. The defense minister, while speaking at the reception ceremony, disclosed his withdrawal of his intention to contest for the governorship election and pledged to support Governor Dauda Lawal to be re-elected in 2027. Vice President Kashim Shettima, on his part, reiterated federal government's commitment to ending security challenges in Zamfara State. He also assured that the government will deploy adequate security personnel and equipment to combat banditry effectively, and also pledged full support for the governor's initiatives to move the state forward. So on 2027 polls, political parties have expressed worry over the Independent National Electoral Commission's INEC newly unveiled 2026 draft regulations for political parties, warning that certain provisions could undermine the credibility of the 2027 general elections. Speaking at a consultative meeting in Abuja, leaders under the Inter-Party Advisory Council voted requirements such as mandatory direct primaries and strict submission of membership registers, describing them as impractical and exclusionary. The IPAC National Chairman Yusuf Lantale raised concerns over provisions of the Electoral Act 2026, warning that unresolved issues could undermine the credibility of the 2027 general elections. He also described the law as falling short of public expectations, arguing that it represented a step back to Nigeria's democratic progress. They advised the Electoral Umpire and the National Assembly to review the rules to safeguard transparency, inclusivity, and public confidence in the electoral process. The concerns were raised after the INEC Chairman George Amopitan unveiled a revised draft of its 2026 regulations and guidelines for political parties, seeking their inputs to strengthen the electoral process ahead of the 2027 general elections. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television. Still to come, the news. Presidency challenges Ndume to share intelligence on terrorism with security agencies. On the international scene, Meteorological Organization gave global climate heat alarming extremes as warming accelerates. And on sports updates, Nigeria's the Tigers clashes with Los Angeles Sparks U.S. tournaments. This and more news will be coming to you after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break, and now the news continues. On insecurity, presidency has challenged Senator Ali Ndume to share intelligence on terrorism with security agencies rather than making sweeping allegations. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, made the call while reacting to Ndume's recent television appearance where he claimed terrorists have informants within the Nigerian society. He stressed that if the lawmaker holds specific intelligence about terrorist operations, informants, or planned attacks, such information should be channeled to the military and security agencies for operational action. The presidential aide also said actionable intelligence requires confidential handling through proper security channels to enable effective response. It will be recalled that Ndume had featured on one of the national television revealed that terrorists use commercial tricycles known as Pep to deliver bombs and rely on informants within communities to plan attacks. So on the news, federal government has approved the disbursement of 32 billion naira to health facilities under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund (BHCPF) following deliberations at the Ministerial Oversight Committee (MOC) meeting. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Muhammad Ali Pati, while briefing newsmen at the 14th first quarter of 2026, said this is to review the progress being made in the health sector renewal investment initiative, adding that it is a continuation of progress across multiple dimensions. He also stressed that the committee reviewed performance in primary health care, including utilization, mortality indicators, and immunization coverage, and noted that funds being released through the Basic Health Care Provision Fund were already reaching facilities. Party, while speaking on disease outbreaks, said Nigeria continues to record multiple outbreaks every year. Most are contained early through surveillance and rapid response led by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC). Also speaking, Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Isaac Adekunle Salako, explained that the meeting highlighted the importance of transparency and accountability in the use of public health funds. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has forcefully evicted Abubakar Malami and his family from their Abuja residence despite ongoing court proceedings over the property. The former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, confirmed this while addressing journalists at a press conference, noting that EFCC officials stormed the premises on Monday and returned on Tuesday with armed personnel to complete their takeover. Malami also identified the property as his family home located at Corona Close off Amazon Street, Maitama, Abuja, and explained that the action followed an interim forfeiture order granted on January 6, 2026, but insisted that the order did not authorize eviction or immediate takeover of the property. The former Attorney General noted that he had already challenged the forfeiture order before the Federal High Court, with the case adjourned till April 20, 2026. According to him, with both parties already before the court, the anti-graft agency ought to have exercised restraints rather than taking unilateral enforcement steps. Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) on Tuesday arraigned Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai at the Federal High Court in Kaduna under tight security. The former Kaduna State Governor was brought to court to answer 10 counts of alleged corruption, money laundering, and abuse of office, marking the culmination of a high-profile investigation into his financial conduct while in office. El-Rufai was first arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on February 16, 2026, granted bail 2 days later, and subsequently rearrested by the ICPC, remaining in custody till then. In the 10-count charge sheet, the former governor of Kaduna State is accused of unlawfully taking possession of large sums of money bought in naira and US dollars during and after his tenure as governor, among others. The court, however, subsequently adjourned proceedings to March 31st, 2026 for the hearing of bail and any other applications filed on behalf of El-Rufai, Joel Adoga, and others. Moving to the foreign news, World Meteorological Organization says the Earth climate system had reached new levels of stress in 2025, with rising temperatures recording greenhouse gas concentrations and rapid warming oceans, indicating an accelerating climate crisis. The State of the Global Climate 2025 report indicated a picture of a planet undergoing widespread and interconnected changes, corroborating that global warming is no longer a distant threat but a present and intensifying reality. According to the reports, global temperature in 2025 were about 1.43 degrees centigrade, about pre-industrial levels, placing the year among the hottest ever recorded. The past 11 years from 2015 to 2025 now rank as the warmest period in modern history. At the same time, atmospheric carbon dioxide concentrations climbed to 423.9 parts per million, the highest level in at least 2 million years. Other greenhouse gases, including methane and nitrous oxide, also reached record highs. Reports emphasize that this continued rise is largely driven by fossil fuel use, wildfire emissions, and weakening natural carbon sinks. Finally, to sport on scene, Nigeria's the Tigers are expected to face Los Angeles Sparks in a preseason fixture during their upcoming tour of the United States. WNBA franchise said the fixture will take place on April 25th at Viajas Arena in San Diego, where the African champions will become the first national team from the continent to face a WNBA side. The encounter is also said to be the first ever meeting between both teams, which underlines the expanding global reach of the women's game. In confirming the development, the Sparks highlighted the significance of the match-up and displays within their pre-season schedule. The club stated the Sparks will open pre-season play on Saturday, April 25th at 12 p.m., hosting the Nigerian women's national team at Viajas Arena on the campus of San Diego State University. Finally, on the news, the top stories again. The government to lift 50 million Nigerians out of poverty by 2030. Vice President Shettima formally receives Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara into ruling APC. Presidency challenges Indume to share intelligence on terrorism with security agencies. On the international scene, meteorological organization gave global climate heat alarming extremes as warming accelerates. And a sport update, Nigeria's the Tigers clashes with Los Angeles Sparks US tournaments. On behalf of the news editor production crew led by Ilya Adamu Auta, I am Hamida Muhammad Idris. Thank you for investing your time and staying with the news.